It all started with a crumpled brown envelope landing on my mat. What was it? Who sent it? And why did they send it? That first brown envelope was proof. It was confirmation, and it was a vindication. But above all else, it would become our first tangible connection to an obscure, mysteriously dark corner of early 1980s Soho club culture. That envelope was the metaphoric key that we had desperately been searching for. The key to help us unlock the mythical, heavy black door that once ominously guarded a subterranean maze of dank, smoke-filled rooms and all the secrets that lay within. What are we even talking about, I hear you ask? Let me elaborate. For us, the whole thing started on a gloomy, rainy day in 2014. It was a normal day in the office, meaning nothing interesting ever happened. For some reason, things were extra quiet that day, and the inane office chatter was really getting to me. People in the row to my right seemed to be having a mind-bending conversation about wallpaper paste, elbow pads, and a crazed pigeon-eating vomit. Fucking hell. I just couldn't stomach it. This job, this place, and its people were beginning to leach the last bits of life out of me. I tried to concentrate and keep focused, but the mindless chatter just got worse and worse. I finally reached my limit when the conversation went on to a ginger cat with a black foot and a massive tail. That was it. I signalled to my old mate Eddie and gestured to him that we should nick an early lunch break. 11 a.m. was a really early lunch break, but I just had to get out of there. We worked in a small office block in Fitzrovia, just behind the Tottenham Court Road. Same boring work, same office politics, and the same passive-aggressive numbnuts. Same shit every day. Anyway, for some reason going through that door that day felt so good. Eddie, who was the only guy I had anything in common with, asked me where we were going. I wanted to get right away from the office, so I suggested that we head into the heart of Soho. It was only a 10-minute walk, so why not? That was it. That little jaunt into Soho started the whole thing off. Believe me. Just as we got into Greek Street, the rain started chucking down, so we took refuge in the old pub at the bottom of the street. So far, so normal. Anyway, we spent the next hour talking about our shared love of music, and especially the music of the early 80s. It felt good. It really did. Eddie and me go way back. We used to hang out back in the day. You know, nightclubs, buying records, and being dressed in the crispest clobber. Great days. Anyway, getting back to the story. While we were reminiscing in the pub, this old dishevelled guy wearing a tattered brown raincoat came up and asked if he could sit next to us. We shifted over and down he sat. We carried on with our conversation regardless. After about 10 minutes, we both started noticing that he was smiling and nodding in agreement to some of our memories, even though he was looking away. It's like he wanted to talk. You know, join in. It was a bit weird, but we were having too good a time to really care. The memories of 1980s Soho were pretty precious to us. As we continued, the man gradually turned around and was now not only facing us, but he was also staring directly at us. Full eye contact. He also smiled and nodded even more. It was all a bit weird. He seemed harmless enough with his smiling and nodding, until for some inexplicable reason, his facial demeanour suddenly changed and he slammed his fist onto the table. If he was after our attention, well, he definitely got it. With his fist still on the table, the man leaned in and asked us if we had ever been inmates. We were both baffled at the question. Inmates of where? Eddie asked with a smirk on his face. The man then moved in even closer. He introduced himself as Harry, then immediately began whispering some really odd stuff about a club that once operated somewhere in Soho in the early 80s. At first, we thought he was probably the worse for drink, but the more he spoke, the more intriguing his story became. He told us that he was an ex-inmate, and he still had his fish. He told us of an underground meeting place that was once full to the brim of misfits, nut bars and oddballs. Those were his words, not mine. As we sat listening to his tale, we couldn't help but think that he had gone through something profound in his long-distant past, and now our curiosity was piqued. We wanted to know more. For the next hour, he rattled on about various oddball characters that were also ex-inmates. He told us some pretty strange stuff. Believe me, a tall man, hoods, a big black door with a hatch, and a mysterious underground restaurant. To be honest, even if 10% of this guy's tale was true, well, eventually he bade us farewell and headed out of the door. We got out of the pub at 4 p.m, both of us a bit worse for wear but excited. Not exactly sure of what we were excited by, but we both definitely felt a sense of excitement. What was this place? Was it at all true? If it were a real place, how come we didn't hear about it at the time? So many questions, so many. We slowly walked back to the office in silence, not even noticing the downpour. We were both in deep thought and both wondering how much of this man's tale was true. As we walked back through the office doors, our boss, who was supposed to be at a meeting in Mayfair, stood stony-faced at his desk. He didn't look happy at all. You probably know what came next. Yep, we were both given our marching orders and sent packing. It should have been a shock getting fired like that, but the 73 bus ride back home was one of the best journeys we had ever taken in our lives. We both felt liberated, but more importantly, we'd gotten a whiff of something so intriguing, so strange that we just couldn't walk away from it. No way. We started to look deeper. We had no idea what we had let ourselves in for. No idea at all.